Hey guys, welcome to Toddler Tuesdays where I'm alone. This is John, the sassy fetus. I'm scared. I'll open with that because I'm comfortable saying so. Um, Everyone else is gone, I guess, today. Nando is doing something, Jamish was doing something for school, Mario's at the gym, Carter's off doing whatever, and Locria, Casey, is MIA. She's watching a game. So, I'm alone. I'm scared. Uh, I honestly don't know what to say. Yeah. Oh boy. Alright, so we have no questions. Beautiful. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Welcome to I'm Scared Cast. Oh, it's embarrassing. Why am I the only one here? So, the Rangers and the Kings for the final. What a discussion. I think I don't care who wins. I want the Rangers to win because I think Martin St. Louis and Henrik Lundqvist deserve the cup. But I mean, Anze Kopitar, Jonathan Quick, there's so much to talk about, and I'm alone, so there's no one to talk about it with. Oh no. I am feeling the pressure. Blake asks, do I like milk? Yes. I hope I answered your question. Oh man. Why am I alone? I'm not trying not to think of things, but there's no question. I feel horrible. I'm sorry, everyone. I apologize. Okay, good. Some questions. So, Pacefalm asks, what would be the most boring two teams in the final? Conversely, what would be the most exciting matchup? So, I guess the most boring teams would probably be if the Florida Panthers and the Phoenix Coyotes. I think because they're the two most underwhelming, I think, uh, teams because, well, the Florida Panthers, they're two small market teams that really nobody, not, I don't want to say nobody, because there are a lot of people that follow them. I'm a fan of the Coyotes. Carter's a fan of the Panther. There are a lot of Panthers fans, more than I would think with how small of a team they are. But they are, I guess, small market teams, and they're not really teams that you would expect to reach the finals. And while it would be sort of a Cinderella story for both teams, it would just be boring because they're both so small. And I'm opening up a Q&A. And no, I'm not, because I can't. I apologize. For the most exciting matchup, I wonder if it has to be possible. Does it have to be possible? Alright, well, alright, so the most likely to happen probably be if Detroit went to the finals with the Blackhawks, because there is just so much hate between those teams, I feel. There really is. There's the rivalry that always went on, and then last year it was during the second round, I think. The two teams played, and it was pretty exciting for what I watched. There's just so much hate. And for a matchup that's never going to happen, if for whatever reason the defining line of the West was between the Boston and Montreal, can just to imagine those teams to play for the cup, like whoever wins that series is like that's it, it's over. That would be probably the most exciting. Uh, yeah. Okay, so people are asking questions. Yay! This is probably gonna be a short podcast because I'm alone. Let's see. When will the Canes be good again? When Probably when they stop trying to load up their team with the Stahl brothers. Yeah, I mean, if their main focus was putting all the Stahls together, they're not doing a good job. They need to start working on. I think this isn't a team that's going to get better in a year or two. I think it's going to be like an Edmonton Oilers or a Vancouver Canucks move. All right. I say Canucks, but I don't know if they're in a rebuild process. But I really do think that they probably need to go into a rebuild because in recent years, at least the last couple, they haven't been all that good, and they really need to start looking at prospects that are going to help build depth and still maintain a sense of talent on the first line and maybe the second line. So when? Maybe in 10 years, 5 to 10 years. Yeah. That was by Anthony. Ander 1 AP. Daniel M asks, who's your favorite player that's not on your favorite team and why? I have multiple favorite teams, so I'm going to try to pick one that's like not on any of them. And I'm going to go ahead and say, think about it for a second. Probably Erik Karlsson. There I go with the Swedes again. He's a good defenseman. He's gorgeous to add in, and he's certainly got talent, I think, at least. And I mean, I thought that he deserved the captaincy this year, but I think Spezza also sort of earned it for how long he's been on the team. So, yeah, because of how sort of the depth and he is the sort of the spirit of the team, essentially. I feel a little bit him and Spezza. Like you hear Spezza and you go, oh yeah, the Senators, but you're gonna think Karlsson and you're gonna go, wow, Karlsson and the Senators. That's a thing. Why am I alone? Tall women or short women? I don't have a preference. Sorry. Yeah, I really don't have a preference. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. Blake asks, and why is he Pavel Datsyuk? Oh, for the favorite player. He's not Pavel Datsyuk because, yeah, I don't know. I like Pavel Datsyuk, but I don't like him that much. Favorite hockey moment you experienced in person? I haven't been to a lot of games in my life. Like I've like over my span of 18 years, I've certainly been to a lot of games, but I haven't been to enough to go ahead and say that I've experienced a lot of major moments. This year I saw the Devils come to Boston, and they won in overtime. Tears were shed, but oh, actually I just remembered this. Why did I forget this? I saw the last regular season game between the Bruins and the Devils. It was actually the last regulation game for the season for the two teams. So essentially, I guess I was pretty happy to see Martin Brodeurs' last game ever, possibly, and that was certainly fun. There was many tears shed by other people. I don't know. I like Brodeur, but I don't. I think he's good, but I think he's gotta know when to quit soon. Within the next few years, he's getting old, and he's not gonna be able to do this. We're in the cup final every few years, especially since he doesn't seem like he has that many left. Pace Falm asks, who would you rather play against, a team full of Luciches or a team full of Hextalls? I don't know who Hextall is. I've heard the name. I just don't know what team he's associated with. I am someone who hasn't really paid attention to the NHL since 2008, and I still didn't pay that much attention to teams other than the Bruins. It's sort of in the past 2 years, maybe 3, that I've started to pay attention a little bit more and to start to open up my eyes to other teams. So I guess I'd rather play Hextalls, because I don't know. Playing devil's advocate here, I wouldn't want to play against a team of people who would want to kill me if they lost. I also want to keep my balls intact. Pacefoam also asks, how many stalls does it take to change a light bulb? Too many. According to the... well, actually, not enough, according to the Carolina Hurricanes. But, in my opinion, too much. Thunder, Water, or Firestone from Anthony. Depends on what Pokemon. You gotta tell me what Pokemon. Let's find out, because we have nothing better to do on this podcast. Welcome to our solo cast. Does everyone else feel the tension that you could cut with a knife? Because I do. I'm living in it. I'm scared, guys. Let's find out what Pokemon. There's the awkward sounds. The only one you can use all 3 of those stones on, so Eevee. So Jolteon, not Leafeon, Flareon, and why don't I remember all of Eevee's? Vaporeon. There we go. Because I'm not a stupid. I'm gonna Jolteon, obviously. Because, yes, Chris. Chris tweets that Anthony's being an Eevee elitist. Yes. Jolteon. Because there's already enough water types, and come on, Flareon doesn't do anything. There's no moves. Flareon knows no moves. Yeah, I've always gone Jolteon every time I get the opportunity, at least. Except in the recent games where I think I went with Umbreon. I might have. Or I went with Espeon, because Psychic types are the best. Pacefarm asks, what is your all-time favorite goal, and why was it Scott Walker's Game 7 OT goal in 09? It wasn't because I didn't watch that final, or whatever game it was, in the playoffs. I didn't... That was a time... Those are the dark ages, when the Bruins, if they did make the playoffs, didn't go very far. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't watch that many. So my favorite goal would probably be... I think it would be a tie between Bergeron's goal in Game 7 of 2011, the final, when he scored and completely just railroaded Roberto Luongo. Because, I don't know, I thought it was funny, and I also thought that it was like, the fact that they even called it a goal was amazing. And it just showed, because, like, if you run the net and the puck goes in first, they're going to call it a goal. And, even I thought it was a questionable goal, but it went our way, and I was happy about it. But still, it did seem like a pretty amazing goal. So that, and don't say Patrick Kane, don't say Patrick Kane. The goal that I forget who scored the game winner against the Blackhawks the other night for the Kings. I forget who scored it, but it was just it would probably be my favorite goal because just the hilarity of it. Like it was like a shot that really didn't even look like a shot. It was like because like in OT, like you're either going to get a goal that is completely spectacular or so underwhelming that you're like, even if it was for your team, you just get upset and you're like, why did it have to be that goal? Because it's just, I don't know, boring. It's boring if you get a regular shot, and especially when there's so much tension. It was against the Bruins. Scott Walker had okay, well, there's a YouTube video that I'll watch later for about the all-time favorite goal for Scott Walker. So, yeah, it was just for the hilarity. It's one of my favorite goals. 09. What was going on in 09? Who did we play? Oh, I'm trying to think. I feel like it was the Capitals. Was it the Capitals? I don't want to watch the YouTube video, but I'm gonna. Was it the Capitals? I feel like it was the Capitals. Carolina Hurricanes. Of course it was the Hurricanes. Why did the Canes have to be so good then, and why do they have to be so bad now? Why can't they be good and prevent teams like the Canadiens from performing in the playoffs? Can we do that? Please? Okay, so I'm also asked, if you were made supreme dictator of the NHL, what would you change? I don't know. I'd honestly start looking for the biggest problems. So would I give out suspensions earlier? Probably not. Give out more for less incidents. Everything would be sort of situational for me. Like the rules are now, a little bit situational. But you see a dirty hit and everyone knows it's a dirty hit, and these people don't get suspended. Matt Cook. You'd have to look at it and be like, a player like this has a history. They can't do this kind of play where they're gonna hurt someone and keep it within the rules. A hit, yes, a big hit, fine, but as soon as you're using way more than enough force to separate someone from the puck, it's something that I'd possibly penalize, because you're going to hurt people like that, and even if it is a clean hit, you're going to hurt people. It's just what's going to happen, and people shouldn't be hurt. We don't need people getting hurt. I'm alone still. Nobody wants to podcast with me. So now is probably a better time than ever to talk about So I titled the podcast Munchkin Edition because I learned today and played for a little bit this game called Munchkin. It's sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, I want to say. Um, that really is the easiest way to put it. So everyone starts at a level 1, and the goal is to go from level 1 to level 10. And you gain a level by either using treasure cards that you get from defeating monsters, or by defeating monsters that you get from the beginning. At the beginning of every turn, you flip a door card, and what that does is it kicks open a door in a dungeon, air quotes, and when you do that, it could be either a monster or a curse or something that changes yourself as a player. So you could be like an elf or a warrior, you get a class and a race. You can be a half breed, so you can get 2 races, or you get this card called Super Munchkin, where you play as 2 classes at the same time. And it's really interesting because it's like it has the base set, so you can play just with the normal rules, and then there's like the creativity and the setting of a Dungeons and Dragons game without all the complications of having to set up a board and rolling all these dice. Everything is based on your level and whatever items you get. So you defeat a monster, you pick up whatever treasure cards, and you gain a level. And there's no rolling of die. And I don't know, I think it's really fun. Maybe you guys would like it. And we're alone again. So, audience, how's the weather for you today? Oh, that's great. There's that silence again. Favorite monster from Bestiary. Oh, alright. Okay, so I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. That was from Pacefarm. I've never played it. That's why I think that Munchkin is just so great, because it's way simpler than Dungeons and Dragons. So, like, Dungeons and Dragons would be way too hard for me to, like, get into. And actually, because we don't have a game board, me and my friends just used a Bestiary book as a game board, because it was the only flat surface that we had that wasn't the table. Cough counter. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody help me. I have no idea what to say. I'm out of school, guys. I graduated yesterday, got my diploma and everything. Yay me. Graduation was fun for those who care. I don't know. It was actually a lot shorter and a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. It was alright. It was hot though. I'm surprised I didn't get sunburned because I'm Irish. And Irish people burn easily. We don't even get close to tanning. Except for that first sunburn, it always becomes a tan. So hey guys, tweet me if you wanna we'll tweet the Our Hockey Cast. Tweet at Our Hockey Cast if you'd like to be on the podcast right now because I have no one to discuss anything with. There's no second opinion. Everything I say is fact. Is that how that works? No. I'm being informed by myself that that's not how that works. Our silent cast, because it's so silent, because I'm alone. I'm sorry for anyone watching this because, well, yeah. Ugh. I'm alone and I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have started this. I apologize. Ace Fawn's favorite monster of Dungeons and Dragons is a Wendigo. Oh god. I'm gonna post that. Actually, I'll just retweet what Pace Fawn posted. There we go. Wow, that thing is creepy. Let's look at the description. This hideous shape has the head of a feral elk with jagged teeth and sharp antlers. I could talk. Its humanoid legs end in blackened, burnt stumps. Oh god. That is just... Ugh. I don't... Yep, and stats, wow. I have nothing. There's so many stats. The stats alone are the reason I don't like Dungeons and Dragons, because it's just so complicated. And stuff. I'm alone still. Again, I apologize. I can't apologize enough for doing this to everyone. In all honesty, this probably should have just gotten cancelled right away when we figured out that nobody was coming. But it's probably better to just do the podcast alone. And we have 29 minutes in the books. In the record. I don't know. I'm trying, everyone. I am, I promise. I'm sorry. Let's see if we've been asked anything. The ecology is the best part, from Pacefarm. That's not a question. I'm gonna guess the ecology is the stats, and stats are boring. In addition to being boring, like this podcast, again, sorry, is it adds to the complexity of the game and basically makes anyone who doesn't know how to play it, it turns them away. Like too much complexity is scary, but when you work your way into it, like start with, I don't know, like you have basic stats. Like, okay, that's a little unnerving, but I can work with that. And then you start adding other stats, like you like stat boosters or whatever. Like, okay, we can work with that too. You just work your way up, and then maybe we can hit the complexity that the game is at currently. Blinson, Dave Master Race on Twitter. What do you think about the Devils re-signing Marek Zidlicki? I think Zidlicki's a pretty good player. I mean, I like him. He's not. I mean, he's. Can't really say that anyone on any team is the best player on a team unless it's Pavel Datsyuk or Sidney Crosby. Or Patrick Kane. PK Subban. Okay, so maybe you can, but I wouldn't say that Zidlicki's the best player on the Devils. I think the Devils are a team that focuses on depth and not on star players. So I don't have an opinion about it, honestly, about them re-signing Zidlicki. I think it's good unless he's taking up a lot of cap space, which I don't know if he is, and I could easily Google it, but I'm not because that would require effort, and this podcast is clearly lacking any of that because nobody's here except me. We're live and alone. There are easier systems. Oh, alright, so Pacefalm says there are easier systems to play than Dungeons and Dragons. Everyone is John is one of my favorite. I'm sorry? I don't understand. Is that a joke or a thing? I don't. Oh god. Oh my god. I feel horrible about doing this. I shouldn't have. So I have a roommate for college, I guess, if everyone wanted to. I don't know what to say. I have a roommate, yeah, so I do have a roommate now, which is good. I've started talking to him a little bit. He likes Game of Thrones, which, I mean, he's gonna need to help me get into, because I should get into it. So again, because there's nothing to talk about, y'all can tweet to ask me questions and whatnot. I wish I had someone here to talk to or with. It's okay to laugh. It's all you can do with this podcast. Our alone cast sums up today's podcast. Alright, so we've been going for 35 minutes, so I'm just gonna give the audience an ultimatum. Do I end the podcast now because I'm alone? Or do I find something to talk about for the next 25 minutes? I'll leave it up to you guys. So unless I get more questions, I'm screwed, and I'm just gonna end this podcast in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So, yeah, tweet at our hockeycast whether or not I should end everyone's misery by ending the podcast or not. So, Andrea asks, "Where is everyone? They're gone." I know you just got here. I can see the viewer count doubled from 1 to 2. Oh boy. Oh my god. Mario's at the gym. Nando had to do something, so I don't actually know what it is. I am ranting. Nando's off doing something. James is doing something for school, I think he said. Mario's at the gym. Carter we knew he wasn't going to be able to come. And No Fall is MIA. We have no idea where the hell he is. Locria/Casey is watching a game, didn't know that she was going to be on the podcast, so didn't prepare. She had no idea, and she can't be here because of it. So it's just me. Isn't everyone else lucky? Pace Foam asks, favorite team that didn't make the playoffs? Favorite coach that got fired this past season? I don't have favorite coaches, actually. So I guess I'll answer that one first. Barry Trotz, actually, would probably be my favorite coach. Because Torts is funny, but Trotz was with that team. Was with the Nashville Predators much longer. And he did in the first, I don't want to say it was the first season, but it was certainly early for the Predators to make the playoffs, and they did, and it was awesome. I actually was cheering for them that year because I knew they were a new team. It's always great to see a new team sort of come right into the mix, and even if they do have 1 or 2 star players, just to see them like absolutely trump teams that like have been here forever, because it'd be a little bit funny, but it's also just sort of like to show up and take everything is something that just seems so great to have a team do. Favorite team that didn't make the playoffs? The Phoenix Coyotes. Duh. No, a lot of my favorite teams made the playoffs. So, like the Ducks, the Bruins, the Lightning, even though they got swept in the first round. So yeah, Ducks, Lightning, Bruins, Minnesota made the playoffs as well, second round. And so yeah, it would have to be Phoenix because I like a select few players on the team. Paul Bissonnette is nasty. Trying to think. Keith Yandel, Vibrata are very good players. Then there's, why do I forget the captain's name? I can't. Shane Doan. Got it. I knew I could do it. Yeah. They have some players with not amazing talent, but they've got certainly they almost made the playoffs this year. They were in the playoffs up until the last few games, and then the Stars overtook them. So they've been getting better over recent years. They haven't been finishing last as people sort of look at them to be, because they're in a much smaller market than other teams, especially teams like Minnesota or Chicago. I don't want to say original 6 teams. So it's like the LA Kings, a lot of Western teams actually that have large markets, like Dallas. I wouldn't say Dallas is a large market. They've got a much bigger one than Phoenix though. I'm so alone. Why doesn't anybody love me? Again, I'm so sorry that I'm doing this alone, and that you all two of you that are here watching, and anyone that decides to watch in the future is going to have to listen to this. I'm so sorry. I got nothing, guys. I'm out of stuff to talk about. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna cut this podcast short in a few minutes. I'm just gonna end it unless I can get some serious topics that I can talk about for 20 minutes. I don't want to put myself, not really myself first. I want to say I don't want to put anyone that's watching this through the misery of having to see this, listen to it, because I'm alone, and I don't know, like, in addition to not wanting you guys to sit through this tension and the awkward, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't want to sit here and have everyone, listen to silence, unless you like that. Who am I to tell you not to listen to silence? But if you're going to do that, I mean, you could just listen to nothing. You don't need the podcast to hear silence. So, yeah. I wish I had more to say. I'm sorry, guys. I got nothing. I don't know what to say. So much misery. Alright. I'm sorry. I'm gonna end it there. Have fun for future people that are hearing this. I'm sorry to all. This is John, the Sassy Fetus, signing off because no one else is here. It's been fun. Just kidding. No, it hasn't. I was alone. I'm sorry, everyone. Goodbye.